Probably not. I hope you have a lot to say because you're the audience. Call to order the meeting for December 9th, 2019 for the Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Roll call.
Carl Broberg.
Here.
Laura Tulowitzki.
Here.
Aaron Austin. Aaron Austin. Jennifer Mazias.
Here.
Tom Nimas.
Here.
Karen Spears Novacek.
Here.
Mayor McGrath. Mayor McGrath.
We have a motion for the approval of the minutes from November 18th, 2019.
I move approval of the November 18, 2019 minutes of the Historic Preservation Commission.
A second.
Any corrections or additions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we have a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing? And then the action on designating a portion of the lakefront walking trail as a historic site. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is open. If anyone has comments to make on the walking trail being designated as a historic site, please come up and state your comments. No one? Is there a motion to close? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there a motion to, by the Historic Preservation Commission, to designate a portion of the lakefront walking trail as a historic site?
Mr. Mayor, I move approve that we recommend to the council that the lakefront walking trail be designated a historic site, and that the designation, however, should not affect the maintenance, including trees, branches, bushes, gravel, shoreline preservation, and bridge placement. And the trail as designated at Thompson's West End Park up to the Marine Boat Landing, the width being 8 feet north of the existing pathway, south to the normal high water line of Lake Superior. And I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any comments or questions by the commission? All in favor, please.
Wait, before that, I think that the commission should discuss the reasons why they're making this recommendation.
Okay, and I have gone around and talked to some folks about this. I was the one who brought up at the last meeting the fact that, I don't think this is something to take completely lightly, because it kind of, it gives this area now, I think, a theme, right, a historic theme. And so I've had some folks in the past come to me and talk to me about modern art and different things along that walkway. And now I think if we got a modern art request, we would probably really think twice about it in terms of like a art themed kind of walk versus designation of like the historical features. So to me, they're kind of separate. Anyways, so I brought that up at the last meeting, and I've talked to some folks about that, and everybody agrees, like, yeah, that is maybe a trade-off, but I also overwhelmingly heard from the people that I chatted with that they feel like it is historic. Everyone really loves the current interpretation on the trail, which is some of the stuff that does the out in the water, and would like to see that kind of, brought into the trail itself and some of the features that were on land too. And so that's why I'm in support of designation.
Some of the other reasons for nominations might be that the area was home to several sawmills that were the heart of Washburn's industrial past, which also were an integral part of the founding of the community, and that there's already have several signs documenting Washburn's history, and that the trail has been part of the community for many years, and some say decades before it was formally developed. And designating this area will help to preserve the history for future generations and serve to be an attraction to the community. Anything else anyone would like to add? And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Is there a motion to adjourn the public hearing, the Historic Preservation Commission?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, call to order the meeting for the City Council for Monday, December 9th, 2020. Roll call.
Mayor McGrath. Mayor McGrath. Karen Spears Novacek.
Here.
Tom Nimas.
Here.
Jen Mazias.
Here.
Aaron Austin. Aaron Austin. Laura Tulowitzki.
Here.
Herb Brevard. Here.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes for City Council meeting of November 18th, 2019?
I move approval of the November 18, 2019 council minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any corrections or additions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to approve the monthly expenditures?
I move approval of the monthly expenditures as reviewed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Laura Tulowitzki.
Aye.
Herb Brevard. Aye. Jen Mazias.
Aye.
Tom Nimas.
Aye.
Karen Spears Novacek.
Aye.
Thank you. Passes. Now it's time for public comment. If you have public comment, please come up and step up to the microphone and sign in your name, please. And please come up. Anyone have a public comment to make? sign your name in on the sheet, please? And state your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Sean Meeker. I am a Washburn sophomore at high school, and I just wanted to say that there's some talk in the community about fee for Blue Across the Bay for Washburn. And I just like to say that I am a part of band, Nordic skiing, and soccer, which are all groups that volunteer at the book and all financially benefit from the book. So when thinking of that issue, I just wanted to bring up to think of the clubs and organizations that volunteer, help out, and get financially benefited from the book.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments?
Hi, I'm Madeline Blom. I also am a member of the band. I have been a member of Washburn Fire and Ice Choir for several years, and when I moved here in 5th grade, I joined those groups, and I've been helping out with the Blue Across the Bay since forever. And all the volunteer hours that I've put into this have significantly helped our programs at the Washburn High School. From the girls soccer team helping out with the fire. I'm also part of the Nordic ski team, Can Ski, and we help wax everyone's skis before the race, and we help set up the tent and take down the tent. And I think the contributions that the city should put into the Book Across the Bay is very important. And considering the students who attend our school who all contribute to the event as well and just benefit from it, and I think it's important that we continue to fund this event.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Ian Meeker,
Could you sign your
116.
name? Can you sign your name, please?
Sign in.
It's a public record, I'm sorry.
Dalton Collins wanted to come. He kind of brought this to our attention, but he's out plowing right now, so he couldn't come. But he did have some prepared numbers in terms of the economic impact that the book has on the area, and I think that was part of the conversation as we wanted to. We just heard that. I mean, and obviously the city has some shared expenses with the book, but it also brings in a lot of people. If you talk to the area businesses, I think they would feel the impact of that. So didn't want to start something that might discourage the Washburn possibly losing the finish line, because I think it's a really important part for our community. So wanted to just let people know that perspective.
Thank you. Anyone else have comments? Anyone else? We'll close public comment. Next is.
Move to close.
We don't need
Oh,
to.
yeah, I'm
Mayoral announcements and appointments. First, I'd like to suggest and nominate for reappointment to the Housing Authority, Christy Yench, who has served for a couple of years on the board and will be for a 5-year term expiring October 2024. A motion to approve Christie Yent for the Housing Authority Board.
I move approval of Christie Jentz to be reappointed to the Washburn Housing Authority Board for a 5-year term.
A second.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And next, I'm suggesting the appointment for the 2-year term from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2021 for the election board. And that would be Adeline Swiston, Cheryl Follis, Linda Ovoski, Pauline Jimenez, Sherry Swiston, Susan Nyman, Luann Opperman, Michelle McCumber, Florence Hagstrom, Valerie Dandino, Carolyn Nelson, Karen Gusky, Don Niles Eilertson, Sharon Hacker, and Pat Bruno. Is there a motion to approve these people for our election board?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I want to thank all those people. It's a very hard and time-consuming job. And we also have an opening on our Harbor Commission. If someone would like to be a member of the Harbor Commission, please contact us. And I'd like to read something. I usually don't like to read these things, but I want to get the wording right. The office of the mayor often receives a good deal of attention, which I think is not always warranted. Even in Washburn, as mayor, I sometimes receive attention and praise that I think is misattributed. This past week or so in Washburn, we had one of the largest amounts of snowfall at any one time ever. I don't have to tell you how difficult this made life here on the lake. Our city crew have worked hard to clear streets and alleys. It was and is a very difficult task. I've heard some grumblings about the process. Things did not go perfectly, but I think the crew did a great job. Dealing with all that wet, heavy snow in such large amounts presented a massive undertaking for a small city with limited resources, especially as we had storm after storm during and after a holiday. Up here, you can take your pick if you consider the holiday was Thanksgiving or deer hunting season. Our city staff and crew worked very long hours to do their various jobs. I may miss some groups, so please forgive me, but our police, EMTs, fire department, public works crew, and city office staff all worked beyond what may be considered normal for the job. In fact, there are many unsung heroes among us who I would speculate just thought they were doing what needed to be done, no big deal. But really, they were amazing. Their life can only be described as saving lives. Their work can be only described as saving lives. Just about everyone would consider us to be a small town that is far away. I've heard stories of many who have assisted others during and after the storms. No one but ourselves is going to rescue us when we need it. We rely upon community up here. You may not agree with some of those around you, but you know you can count on them, as they know they can count on you. That's the way it works up here. So on occasion, as mayor, I receive praise for what is going on in the city. But it is not me, it is not them, it is us. We are Washburn. We care about others. We know who we can rely upon. It is us. Thank you.
Thank you.
First item on the agenda is the proposed amendment to water and sewer credit policy. You find information in the packet on that. Scott, do you have anything you want to say in addition to that information?
I don't have anything to add unless there are questions.
So there's a motion to amend the credit policy.
I move approval of the amendment to the current policy.
A second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is the 2020 wage schedule. You have that information in the packet for the wage schedule. There's a motion to approve the wage schedule.
I move to approve the wage schedule 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is 2020 TIF, or Tax Incremental Finance District number 2 and 3 budgets. Scott, any further comments on that? It's been a while on that.
I'm happy to answer anyone's questions. Just how TIF
operates. I'm glad that TIF 3 is at least getting some increment generated, so that's a good thing. Otherwise, TIF 2 is in maintenance mode, it only has a couple of years left. We can't make any further expenditures out of that, except for administrative expenses and debt payments, so. Is there further questions?
For TIF District 3, which includes the Bayfield Street reconstruction project, is that part of that district? And I guess is it typical that we would hire was it like an engineer? Like, I guess we've never done, I guess I just need a little bit more information on that, like.
Sure, fair question. So district number 3 includes a good portion of the Bayfield Street area, at least in the downtown area, but not the entire thing.
Okay.
But one of the goals when we established the district is hopefully to have development occur, because we knew that we were going to have projects and expenses like this coming up, and was part of the intention that this would help to offset some of those costs. Due to the limitations that we have in the general fund capital budgets, as far as dollars available, this is really the only option we have right now, without going back and making cuts to those other budgets, to solicit for an engineer and to get a engineer under contract in this coming year, to one, begin working on our portion of that project, and then we'll also, part of the goal will be to solicit for large pots of funding to assist with that project as well. And so we need a good grant writer as part of that. I don't anticipate too much in the line of expenses for this coming year, but I do think that our goal should be to get somebody under contract and to begin the preliminary work that we need to do under water and sewer, so that we can coordinate the project with the DOT.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask, so more like the water and sewer engineering part of it, and not necessarily like, as part of that too would be like downtown facade and like what our downtown's gonna look like. That's a different type of engineer, and then
Correct, and that will have to work with the DOT.
you have to work with the DOT. Because one of the things that I was thinking about when I was reading this was like trying to be really proactive on what those designs would look like, so that we have plenty of time to get like feedback from like the public and do some, I don't wanna call them visioning or whatever, but I just know sometimes we get to that like point where like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and it's like, oh, you know, like, so at the same time, I know the water and sewer part is important, but I also wanna make sure that we give ourselves plenty of time for that aesthetic, what our downtown corridor is gonna look like, bike paths, right down to the street.
Light poles.
Street poles, you know, trees, you know, all that stuff, because I just know that stuff eats our lunch, and anyways, that was my only question, so thanks.
So not to get too far off topic, but because of the snow, I've just held back because we've had people have just been kind of busy. But one of the things the next thing that will be coming up is, for discussion, is the detour routes. And so probably in the beginning of the new year, we'll have some information sessions again on that particular issue. But the other issues as far as aesthetic improvements and so forth, those are a little bit down the road yet.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Comments? Is there a motion to approve the budgets for TIF 2 and 3?
I move approval of the proposed 2020 TIF number 2 and TIF number 3 budgets.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I want to apologize, I skipped one. We were going to have a presentation by two men who are interested in perhaps developing that broke down, but due to the bad weather, they're not able to make it up from Eau Claire. So that was going to be on the agenda, but we hope to have them in January. They still are interested in coming. I spoke with them today. Is there, next item on the agenda is discussion action on resolution number 19-014, adopting all 2020 budgets and expenditures. Is there a motion to approve?
I move approval of the 2020 budgets and appropriating funds as included in our packet.
Second,
Oh, and do I have to go to the resolution?
I'll second that.
19-014.
Resolution 19-31.
Is there a discussion on this item? Comments?
Maybe it's my bad. I thought we did this. Did we just talk about it and it was still out for public comment last council meeting? Am I going crazy?
At the last council meeting, you approved the tax levy. So this is the final step, this is the last thing.
Last thing, nothing's changed from everything we've talked about.
Correct.
I guess some of the public comments tonight about that none of this has to do with anything that's changed with how much we're like putting into across the bay. Am I missing something?
No.
I'm just, okay, perfect, thanks.
However, Jen, do you really want city council to vote on whether you're going crazy or not?
You can, I'm okay with it. Thanks for, yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Next is discussion action on 2020, discussion action on writing off certain outstanding ambulance bills and utility bills. We just have ambulance bills this time. This is something we do. These are either past the statute of limitations, or the bankruptcy, or the deceased, or it's past the time limit for filing. This is something we do periodically. Is there a motion to approve writing off these outstanding bills? So move. Second?
Second,
Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, past the statute of limitations for collection, $3,700. So if you just don't pay, there's a certain time period where you don't pay, all of a sudden you get relieved of that responsibility? Just checking.
These particular accounts were sent to a collection agency,
They were.
and yes, and so perhaps the attorney can discuss statute of limitations.
Yeah, so the statute of limitations for collection of a debt based on contract, which is this, is 6 years. So if you go 6 years after the date that you incur that debt, you can't file an action, a lawsuit to collect against it anymore. So these debts are sent to Range Credit Bureau Collection Agency. They make all efforts to locate the individual, find some contact information, find them, but in a lot of cases, you just have no identifying information to know where the people are, to find them, to serve process on them. There are, in collecting debts, pretty strict requirements for notices that you have to give to people, so you have to actually be able to find them before you can get those judgments.
Okay.
So that's where these cases typically come up, when people just, they get an ambulance service, and then we don't know where they go, we don't know anything about where to send bills or any other information.
Okay, yeah, just for my own personal knowledge, it's just like, $3,700, like, oh, if you don't pay it for 6 years and you run around and you don't answer your door and then all of a sudden it goes away. I mean, granted, you have bad credit, but, so, I mean, that's a pretty substantial one, $3,700, nothing for us to single away. Okay, thanks for the explanation.
Any other questions, comments?
Well, it's worth asking if something could change so that that kind of thing doesn't keep happening. How is something about how it's happening or being missed? People can't get information,
It is pretty common for this type of bad debt to go unsatisfied. It is difficult to find people after a while. Maybe, I know some ambulance services, EMS services are getting more streamlined in the collection of information at the time that patients are given services, so you have some more information. A lot of these are 2011, I think that Carl can speak to the point, but maybe some record keeping has, and information gathering systems have been more streamlined since that time.
We get information at the time, but if they move, or they're out of the area, it's really hard to collect on some of these. It's just tracking them down. You don't always have the patients not always giving you really good information because of their condition. They might not be conscious, and so you get to the hospital, you get the best information you have that you can get at the time. But it's not always accurate. Sometimes people have 2 or 3 different addresses, and so pick one, start there, and then try and follow after that. So they're getting better. There's more data online, but people who live out of the area, it's really hard.
So is there a motion to approve?
There was a motion.
There was.
Sorry. Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Next is the discussion and action on 2020 meeting, election, and holiday calendar as presented by the city administrator in your packet. Is there a motion to approve this?
I move approval of the council meeting, election, and holiday calendar for 2020.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any issues or questions or comments or changes anyone would like to make?
Just noting that 2 of them are moved because of the elections.
Yes. Any elections next year? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Next, we have discussion and action on approval of contracts with Environmental Dynamics International and Energetics, Inc. for aerobic digester equipment maintenance and upgrades of the wastewater treatment plant. Bob, do you have any comments to make on this?
Sure. This kind of feeds into the energy efficiency funding that we secured for the solar array. This is going to come out of some of the funding that we secured during that time. So originally we were going to try to replace a boiler down at the treatment plant, but since then we've learned that that's not a good move for us to make right now. We wouldn't realize any savings from doing that. So we kind of went down the list, and this is the next item that we think is going to save us quite a bit of electrical energy costs. If we can replace those diffusers, it'll just make the action of the aeration more efficient. And our idea is that it's going to use less of the blowers than what we have to run currently to get proper mixing and aeration.
Is there a motion to approve these contracts?
I move approval of the 2 contracts as listed in the packet.
Second.
And I have one comment on there. This is a type of contract that does not require public bidding, but the statute says that the city should evaluate it according to the site cost of design and developers' experience in other similar projects. So possibly Scott could comment on those.
With the treatment plant, we have specific equipment, and we've been utilizing specific vendors. Both of these, the energetics in particular, we have experience with. They have a lot of our computer and sensor equipment at the treatment plant. So we've been familiar with them. They're familiar with the plant. They have their software programs, so if you go with someone else, then you gotta do somebody else's system, and so that's why we are recommending this. We think that that's going to be the best price as opposed to going with another vendor that's going to have their own systems that we would then have to add in to everything as well. So
Have we Question.
Yes.
Have we had experience with Environmental Dynamics International also?
I do not believe that we have done anything down there within recent memory with them. And I think they're specific on the blower diffuser components of the plant. And of course, we're dealing with original equipment in that area yet. So this would replace that.
Bob, you want to?
Yeah, just to add to that, we haven't worked with them in the recent past, like Scott mentioned, but Joel, our lead operator, he's had experience with them, and he's very happy with what they provided in the past.
These upgrades have been a tremendous help in our system, and really it makes it work a lot better. In past years, we've seen what happens when we have not done much work there. Any other questions or comments? This will be a roll call vote.
Do we have a second?
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I second.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you second?
Yeah, I did.
This is roll call.
Sorry.
Broberg,
Aye.
Laura Tulowitzki,
Aye.
Jenna Mazias,
Aye.
Tom Nymas,
Aye.
Karen Novacek Spears.
Aye.
Karen Spears Novacek.
Passes unanimously, thank you. Next, we have the alcohol licensing, bartender license applications 21-41 through 21-43. Is there a motion to approve these applications? Laura,
I'm sorry.
approve it.
I'm sorry, was Karen just said something?
I said we're,
We're doing alcohol licensing.
Oh, yes, I.
Thank you.
I will second the motion to approve.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to adjourn? No. Excuse me, yes, Scott.
Could I, before you adjourn, I got two quick questions, and the attorney won't yell at me for this. First question is, do you like the double-sided in your binders as opposed to the, you always just used to do the single-sided? This is just a personal preference question.
Double-sided is just fine. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure, we're just, and then as far as your email addresses,
Get using them.
yeah, let me know when you're using them and we will update our information, so.
On it.
So, motion to adjourn.
Move
So-
to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
fastest meeting ever.
34 minutes.
No, you should know, I have been, I have no, thank you, I haven't much to say.